In this section, we'll be speaking about how we can do a correlation matrix. Now, correlation matrix is something which can be used for multiple purposes. Now, if you want to find out which are the variables which are highly related with the dependent variable, then you can use it. Suppose you're learning, let's say, suppose you're using a supervised learning technique like linear regression, and you have 30 to 40 independent variables. Out of these 30 to 40 independent variables, which are those variables which have a strong relationship with the dependent variable? If you want to pull out only the 10 or 12 most important variables which are strongly related with the dependent variable, out of these 30 variables, you can easily do it with a correlation matrix. Now, second thing is that if you want to get a high level perspective about which are the variables which have association or relationship, out of 30 variables, you may see 3 sets of variables. First set comprising of 8 to 10, second set again comprising of around 8 to 10, and the third set may be comprising of 8 to 10, which may have some kind of a relationship. There could be 3 sets within a larger data set. So you can use this as an exploratory data analysis even before doing factor analysis. So generating a correlation matrix becomes very, very important. And if the number of dimensions increase, the word dimensions in this context refers to variables. If you have 80 or 100 variables, you might not want to use all these 80 to 100 variables. You might want to pick up only the most important and relevant variables. Question is, how do you do it? Right? Is there an easier way to do it? Because if you just generate a correlation matrix, what you will see is that you will see ocean of numbers. You'll see a lot of, you'll see a giant matrix, and that might not tell you much. So this is a very, very easy way in which you can sort of, generate a correlation matrix. To do this, I'll just quickly pull out a data set. I'll just go to File, Open Data. I've got car sales data set, which you all are familiar with. You can see here some of these variables are manufacturer, model. These are all string variables. I don't need to look at that. Look at these variables. Sales, resale variable, type of the vehicle, price, engine size, horsepower, wheelbase, width, length, curb weight, fuel capacity, mileage per gallon. And you also have a very interesting variable, LN sales. When we say LN sales, log transform sales. Now, the deal here is that when you're looking at Pearson's correlation, sales per se might not do a good job, because one of the assumptions behind Pearson's correlation is that the data should be normally distributed. Many times, what I have observed is that if you take a log transformation of the old variable, that tends to do a lot better than the original variable sales. So log transform sales is one variable which I have sort of kept at the end. So these are all vehicle characteristics. Now, how do you generate a correlation matrix? Now, you can go to Analyze. You can look at the option Correlate and Bivariate. But the problem with this particular option is that it gives you a lot of unnecessary details like significance value and sample size. Now, for the purpose of this video, significance value is not something that I'm looking at. I'm also not looking at the sample size and such things. So what I'll do is I will just avoid this particular option. I will choose another option, which is dimension reduction. And within this, I will be using the first item, that is factor. Now, don't worry, I'll not be doing factor analysis in this particular video. The purpose of doing this video is to show you how you can generate a correlation matrix. And once you do a correlation matrix, how do you sort of summarize the results at very, very high level? But the option of correlation matrix is present in factor analysis, right? Let me just click on this. The first two variables are strings, so I'll just avoid this. The remaining variables, I'll just select all these remaining variables and I will put them in the variables list. So this is what I want. Now, right at the top, you see an option which is called as descriptives. So please choose the option descriptives. Now, within this descriptives, you will get a lot of output. So I'll just unclick this, but you can see a heading here, which is written in blue, correlation matrix. So I will just click on this option, correlation coefficients. I don't need other details. I just need the correlation coefficients of these 11 or 12 variables. I'll click on continue, right? I'll just, for the benefit of those people who might have missed this option, descriptives and coefficients option, you need to pick. Click on the option continue and choose the option OK, right? Now you'll see a correlation matrix. It'll also give you other output corresponding to factor analysis. I'm not looking at the subsequent output. I'm mostly interested in correlation matrix. Now, as you can see here, you see so many numbers here. Please don't be intimidated with this, because you can't really eyeball each and every number and make an interpretation of this. There's a easier way of doing this, because SPSS and Excel are like very, very good friends. The output of SPSS can be exported to Excel. And in Excel, there's a very, very easy and interesting way of summarizing the results. So let me just copy this, or you can just right click and just click on the option copy. I'll go to Windows, and here I'll just fire a Excel application. So as you can see here, I am in my Excel application. I can come to the first cell and do a Control V, right? Once I do a Control V, what happens is that entire correlation matrix comes into in my spreadsheet. I'll remove the merge option and the wrap text option, right? Just a bit of housekeeping here. I can just sort of drag this particular cell to the right side, so that all the variables are more or less clearly visible. The last variable, log sales, is something which is interesting. So what you need to do is you can just select these values. And once you select this in Excel, you can just click on the home menu. You see a very, very interesting option, conditional formatting. Please click on the conditional formatting option. You see highlight cell rules. I don't need this. Second option, I don't need. Data bars, I don't need. I will choose the option color scales. And here I'll choose the first option, right? Let me just zoom it in, right? Just zoom it back, right? Now, this is a very, very interesting way of sort of showing the correlation metrics. Why? Because it shows a lot of interesting details as far as I'm concerned. Now, how do you interpret this? As you all know, correlation lies between -1 and +1, right? Correlation lies between -1 and +1. If the correlation coefficient value is exactly -1, it means that there's a perfect negative relationship between the two variables. On the other extreme, if you see a value of exactly +1, it means that there's a perfect positive relationship. If the correlation coefficient value is 0, it means that there is no relationship between the two variables. Now, by color coding these values, what I've been able to achieve is that at a very, very high dimension, you at a very, very if I can say, at a very 100 feet perspective, we can sort of visualize the relationship with various variables. You can see fuel efficiency. You can see a lot of these red color cells. Now, Excel basically highlights all the negative values in red color. And if you see a lot of green color cells, dark green color cells, they're very, very close to +1. And if you see yellow colored cells, basically, yellow colored cells are basically slightly, moderate positive correlation. And when you look at orange color cells, they stand for sort of low negative correlation values. Now, when I see this, right, I am, my apologies, let me just sort of come back. Now, when you look at fuel efficiency, almost all of these vehicles have a negative relationship with fuel efficiency, except the variable fuel efficiency itself, right? You can see here -0.39 and vehicle type, and all these are variables which have a negative relationship with fuel efficiency. So nothing in the vehicle characteristics which sort of have a positive relationship, right? Also, you can see along the diagonal, you can see consistently 1, which basically means that we are looking at the relationship of a variable with itself. Understandable, because a variable will have a perfect positive relationship with itself. So we don't need to look at the ones here which are present diagonally. I see quite a few positive values corresponding to wheelbase. I see quite a few positive values with corresponding to width, and I also see quite a few values which are positive for length, width, and fuel capacity. Fuel capacity slightly tends to be high positive values, right? Now, when it comes to sales, where is sales? You can see sales here. The original form of variable, I don't see any dark green color cell, which means that there is not much positive relationship with sales. That's my first observation. I'm not looking at it from a mathematically rigorous perspective. I'm just trying to get some kind of a feel, some kind of an understanding as to what is happening within my data set. You can make a lot of value judgments as far as mathematics is concerned. As I said, I'm just trying to understand what is going on with my data set. Now, just take a look at log transform sales, right? Now, you see quite a few variables which have negative relationship. Log transform sales and fuel efficiency. If you see, you're getting 0.109. Compare the last row with that is the 16th row which I've highlighted with the fourth row. The first row corresponds, sorry, the fourth row corresponds to sales, and the 16th row corresponds to log transform sales. Very interestingly, sales has a negative relationship with fuel efficiency, which means that the original variable sales, if you use the variable as it is without transforming, it tends to have a negative relationship with sales. It tends to have a negative relationship with fuel efficiency. The same variable, when you do a log transformation, that is, I'm just looking at the last row, and when you look at this particular column O, let me just pull this fuel efficiency, it is not negative, it is 0.109. So you can see sales itself gives you a different perspective, log transformation itself gives you a different perspective. So this is how we can sort of, in a way, visualize a correlation matrix, a giant correlation matrix through color coding in Excel. I request you to subscribe to my channel, The Outlier. I request you to like my videos. I'll see you in my next video.